Okay, guys, we are live. Just give me a minute. Okay, let's continue. So, hey everyone, I'm Harshal Jain, your mentor at Geeks for Geeks, and welcome back to another session. In this video, guys, we are going to create a project using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The project name is Whac-A-Mole. Okay, so as you can see that this is the project, and if I come here, as soon as I come over this, you can see I see a hammer, and Marvel fans would actually recognize this hammer, right? Sounds familiar? Okay, so this is actually Thor's hammer, which I have used as a reference. Okay, just a fun part. Okay, so you can also use this. So this is what we are going to learn first, that how we can actually use a image as a cursor whenever I hover on this. You can see I don't see the image here. I see the image whenever I'm over my game. Okay, right? And the next thing is you're gonna have these different parts. As soon as you click on the start button, can see that you get that hamster actually. Mole is something, a kind of like looks like hamster only. Okay, so I've used this cute hamster because I found this very cute, and it's something which you would see in your memes also. Okay, nowadays in memes, you would see some image like this. Okay, so I have used that meme image. Okay, and these 6 holes are also available here, right? So it's a very simple project, but very fun project, which would actually help you understand the connection between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? So yeah, this is it. That's what we are going to build today, right? So now let's see the live chat. Some people are saying time is over. Yes, actually time time is over. I started the session late because actually Navratri was going on, so I just woke up late, as you can see. So anyways, let's continue. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna close this. I'm gonna create a folder. So you can see I've created a folder. And don't worry guys, I'm gonna provide you the source code, also the link of the source code. Okay. So you can just get the source code link and you can just get the code from there. The code is pretty much same which you would see everywhere. Okay, because we have two basic things, hole and the mole. Okay, so when the mole is up, you have to hit that, the point would go up, and in a few seconds the mole would go down, again come up, go down, come up in different hole. Okay, so pretty simple project. So I'm gonna create 3 different things here. First thing is index.html. Okay, let me just zoom it a bit. Shri Prajan, hi sir, hi Shri. Sir, can beginner understand this session? Yes, you can, as a beginner also, you can understand this session if you have knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript basics. Okay, like how you can target an element using get element by ID, basic things. Rest everything is on me. I'll make you understand everything. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, sir, how this part actually happened. I'll help you understand that. Okay, so this is a beginner friendly project, don't worry. Okay, so now let's continue. I am going to create another file named as styles.css and another part which is script.js. Okay, fine. So yeah, here I'm just gonna create a fresh template. HTML template. If you don't know how this shortcut came, it's pretty easy. Just need to pass this exclamation sign and hit enter, and you'll definitely get this shortcut. Okay, so pretty simple. And now here guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna write our basic code so that we can connect HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, so I can just actually name it as something like Whac-A-Mole game GFG. Okay, something like that. You can give any title you want. Then I can also connect my style sheet. So for that I need to write link self-closing tag, and here I'm just gonna write its rel as style sheet. Then I'm gonna say where is it located, so href equals styles. In the same folder we have styles.css file, right? So yeah, we have written that, and then after that we need one more thing, which is JavaScript file. So here itself I'm gonna write script, okay, and inside the script I need to just pass the src script.js and close this. Okay, so I've loaded my JavaScript file also. Okay, so all three have been connected now. So the HTML part is pretty simple. It's very simple. You just need to give a heading. Okay, so you can just give the heading as Whac-A-Mole. Okay, simple h1 tag. Then I'm gonna say what is my score, so h2 tag, which would contain my score. And inside this I'm gonna write my span tag. I'll just give the class as score, and here I'm just gonna say that the initial score would be 0, right? Very easy. Then the third thing here would be a button which would allow me to start or restart. Okay, so initially you would see the text as start. Later on, with the help of JavaScript, when the game is finished in 20 seconds, okay, I've set it the timer to 20 seconds. If the game is finished, after game is finished, instead of start, you would see the restart button. Okay, let me just show you what actually happens. So if I come here, and you would see the restart. Okay, so once you click on the restart, you can see that the start button is also invisible. Okay, but after 20 seconds this would be visible, button would be visible, but the text inside that would be restart. Only if the first time you would see the start button. Okay, so let's wait for 20 seconds. 20 seconds are almost over. You can see that, yeah, initially you would have seen the start button, but now once you have played the game, you would see the restart button always. If I refresh, you can see initially I get the start button only. Okay, so that's pretty much. So initially I want to show the start button. Later on, with the help of JavaScript, when I play the game, first 20 seconds, after that you would see the restart button. Again I click on restart, then next time you would see the restart button. Okay, so start button is only shown for the first time, right? So I'll just say id equals start, and once I click on this, I wanna actually call a JS function which I'll be deciding in the JavaScript part. Okay, so I'll just simply call that function as start game. Okay, so this function would be created in the JavaScript file. Okay, that means script.js file. Pretty understandable, very easy. How it would work, since we have connected the JavaScript, so whatever we have written here will be used here. Okay, used here. So we can update the score from the JS file, we can start the game from the JS file. Okay, now let's come back here, and I'm gonna say that we have a division which contains a kind of a matrix. Okay, 3 cross 3. Okay, that means we have 6 holes, 3 cross 3. Okay, 3 rows, 3 columns, right? So I'll just give it a class game. Okay, inside this I just wanna create 6 holes. Okay, so I'll just simply say div. Okay, and I'll just give it a class of hole. Okay, hole, and inside this hole 1. Okay, and here inside this we're gonna have a mole, or you can call it a hamster. Okay, hamster sounds easily understandable. Mole is similar to hamster. Okay, I don't know exactly what's a mole because I haven't seen it properly, but yeah, it's like a hamster, it's like a chuha. Okay, in India we call that chuha. Okay, all type of that is known as a chuha. right? So yeah, I'm just gonna say my first hole is gonna have a mole. Okay, similarly every of my hole, okay, is gonna have a mole. Okay, so we have around 6 holes here. Okay, so hole number 2, hole number 3, hole number 4, hole number 5, hole number 6. Now remember one thing, since each of the hole is having the mole, okay, so if this is visible, I have to hide all other moles because I can see the hamster only once, okay, rest of the hamsters are hidden. If hamster is visible here, this would become hidden. If hamster is visible here, this would become hidden. Okay, so initially you would have all the moles here, but only one at it would be visible at only one place. Okay, you can make it visible at multiple places also. The game also does that, but right now we are going to understand that how we can make it visible for one time, then another time, then another time, then another time. Okay, like that. So we have created 6 holes. You can create more if you want, but I've created 6. Okay, so it's pretty much here. Then we're gonna create a, a grid in the CSS file to actually use that. So once you have done that, you can see that everything is done. This is the basic HTML part which we wanted to write. You can see just a few lines of code. Now guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna write the CSS part. Okay, so let's do that. Sumit, good morning, sir. Deepak, whoa, thanks, Deepak. All right, let's continue. So now I'm going to make you understand the basic CSS part. Okay, so CSS is not that much big. So first of all, guys, what we need to do is we need to simply start this. Okay, see how it actually looks. So I'm just going to right click and here you would see a shortcut open with live server. If you're a beginner, you want to get this extension, which is live server. Okay, live server. So just install this extension, and then once you install this extension, you would be able to see this shortcut go live, or you can you can just click open with live server. Both would do the same job, that is open our website into the browser. So you can see in this browser, you would see this. Okay, right now you are not able to see the moles and the whole because we haven't styled it yet. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the images of those. You can get those images from my GitHub repository. I'll upload the source code at the end of this video. I'll show you where is the source code. You can get the source code from there and you can get the images from there. Okay, so let me just first of all bring the images. So I'll just copy all the images and I'll paste the images here. Okay, so basically we have 3 images. First of all, Thor's hammer. Okay, so I'm gonna beat the mole with the help of Thor's hammer. Okay, so then we have a hole. Okay, some hole. Okay, and some cartoonish hole. Okay, and then we have a mole. Okay, so this is a hamster, or you can call it a chuha. Okay, so pretty cute. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one. So we have actually seen this in the memes which we see around on Instagram. So I picked it from there only, right? Looks cute. Okay, so let's do that. We have bought the images. Okay, we have 3 images. So my first task is to first of all style the page. Then whenever I am over my page, I want to show this hammer instead of my cursor. Okay, that's what I want to show. I'll do that. Okay, so you can use this in a lot of projects also now. With the help of this example, you'll understand. In upcoming future projects, you can use the same logic the way I'm using the hammer. I'm showing the hammer instead of cursor. You can use it in other projects also. Okay, so like for making websites, some websites actually show you a custom cursor. Okay, by the way, one tip which I would share you, if you are making custom cursor like this hammer, the size must be smaller than 150 by 150 width and height. Okay, so just make sure that, else it won't work. Okay, I pretty much wasted a lot of time yesterday just figuring that out. Okay, because I forgot that the size is also important here. Okay, so now I'm gonna say we have the CSS part. Let's go up with the CSS part. I'll just say that by default, I'm just gonna say box sizing would be inherited, whatever it is. By default, whatever it is, it would be inherited. Okay, so it would be inherited from what? So I can just say box sizing would be okay. I'll just make the box sizing as border box. Let it be. Okay, I'll just make the box sizing as border box, which simply means that if width is 100 pixel and padding left and right is 10 pixel 10 pixel. So usually what happens is width becomes 120 pixel because sorry 130 pixel. 10 pixel this side, 10 pixel this side. So width would be enlarged. This simply makes sometimes the scroll bars visible. Okay, I don't want that. I want the width to be 100 pixel only. Okay. If there is some padding would be from inside, not outside. That means width remains 100 pixel. Okay. Inner content becomes 80 pixel. Rest 10 pixel 10 pixel would be given padding. Okay, so that's what box sizing does. It would simply make the width fixed. It won't increase the width if there is some padding. Okay, padding would come from inside. Okay, that's what it does. Box sizing border box. Now I'm just gonna say that we have the HTML tag. Okay, by default I wanna say this is the font size. Okay, and I'll also say body. I'll just do one thing here. I'll I'll just say that margin would also be 0 by default and padding would be 0. By default, I don't want any margin or padding. Okay, fine. Now in the body, I want the background color as some light green. Okay, so I'll just pick a light green color EFF E8FF. So don't worry, you'll get everything with the help of my source code. You can just pick everything from my source code. Okay, so E2. Okay, so light green color. Let me just check now. So guys, here you can see that you got the light green color. Perfect. Now once you have the light green color, what you're gonna do is you are gonna say one more thing, which is by default text align would be center. So what I want is by default I want the text align to be center. Okay, so every text would be by default center. Let me just check. So you can see, okay, by default everything would be in center. Right, so this is it. Now guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say that our h1 tag is gonna have some font size of around 4.5 rem. Okay, then margin would be 2 rem, top and bottom, and left right would be 0. Okay, then text color I want is GFG green color, so hashtag 43A047. Okay, so I have pretty much extracted the exact color. Now I'll simply style the h2 tag also, and let me first of all check here. You can see h1 is styled. You can give it a font family also if you want. Here I would just say font family as Apple. Okay, so I've given the Apple font family. Okay, looks cool, right? So now I'm gonna come back here. I'll just copy this, paste it here. This is the h2 tag, and let me just give it a darkish tone color. Okay, so here let's say that the size changes to 3 rem. Okay, and I want the padding from left and right also for h2, and I think everything is fine. Okay, then guys, I'm gonna say that we're gonna talk about our score. Okay, so where is the score? You can see that inside this we have the score. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the score. So dot score, and score is pretty easy. I'm gonna give it a background color. Okay, so background color hashtag some again some light green color. Okay, it's like a button which you would see, and center would be showing you the score, and the padding inside this from top and bottom 0, left and right 3 rem, then some border radius would be 1 rem. Okay, let's see now. So I have tried to style this, but it didn't come up with. Let me just check here. So I have given this class as score, looks fine, and here I have given this. Okay, I think I need to come here. I'll just pick this color. Well, it's not taking the class. Let me just check why it's not taking the class. I have given this class as okay. If you come here, you'll simply see that I have given this color. Fine, text color is given here, and I have given this margin. I want to check one thing, which is the score class. Score class is not added. Why it's not added? We have given the class name. Fine, it's the score class, and then we have the span tag. Anyways, we'll see that later. Then guys, we have the game. Okay, we have the game. So inside this game, what you can see is we have a kind of 6 elements in rows, right? 6 rows. So we have to make 3 cross 3 out of it first of all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and I'll just do one thing. Okay, now it works. Actually, I used the wrong property. Okay, it's just background, not background color. Okay, so yeah, silly mistakes. So now you can see that we have this one. Now here, one more thing is I have the start button. Okay, so I'll just come up here and I'll just talk about the start button. So uh, start button, and you can simply see that we have this start button here. Okay, so ID start. So that's why I've written hashtag. And here I'm just gonna say by default display of this would be inline block, and then there won't be any text decoration, so text decoration would be none, right? Now I'm gonna say that there won't be any border also. By default the border of the button would be gone. Background color for that button would be hashtag 4A0. Okay, so GFG color. Then text color for that would be white, and font size would be 2 rem. Padding would be 1 rem, 2 rem. Okay, cursor would become pointer, and margin would be 1 rem. Okay, so let's see. So you can see that we have the start button, simple start button. Okay, perfect. Now if I hover on this, if I hover on this, I want to change, suppose, the opacity to 1.8. I'm sorry, to 0.8, or maybe lesser, 0.5. Let's see. So if I hover on this, you can see that the opacity also changes. Perfect, looks good, right? So you can see that this much is also done. Now we're gonna talk about our game. Okay, so let's talk about our game. Then we're gonna talk about our hole, and then we're gonna talk about the mole. Okay, so if I talk about the game, I'll just say first of all the board's width would be 600 pixel. Okay, and height would be, let's take it 600 pixel. Okay, then I'm just gonna say that display would be flex. Okay, and flex wrap would be wrap. Okay, and margin would be auto, right? And I'll just give it a background color of red for now. Okay, and let's see how it looks for now. So you can see that this is the board. Okay, this is the board which we have. So first of all, you can see that it's taking more width, more height actually. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it lesser height, okay, so that it would adjust. Or else what you can do is you can make it more responsive. But right now, just to keep time short, I'm gonna give less height. Okay, so let's do that. So here I'm just gonna say that height would be around 400. Okay, let's see again. So you can see that, yeah, this is fine. So now you can see that this is our game board. What I want is whenever I hover on this, I want to change my cursor color, cursor. Okay, actually, so cursor. Okay, whenever I am over this, I want to show a image instead of my mouse cursor. Okay, so inside this, I'm just gonna pass hammer.png, and here just pass auto. That means automatically it would adjust the hammer. Okay, and that's it. So let's come back here. So you can see that you would see the hammer. Okay, if you are outside, you won't see that. If you are here, you would see that. Okay, so that's the thing. So now you have the hammer here. Perfect. And for now, I'm just going to remove the background. Now here I'm going to talk about the hole. Okay, so hole would be taking this much space. So flex 1. Okay, and I'm just going to say it's going to take 33.33% of space, left and right. Okay, so top and bottom it would take equal space. Okay, we're gonna create three different rows, but from left and right I'm gonna take 33, 33, 33 of a single row. Okay, so this would be whole, and I don't want any overflow, so overflow would be hidden. Okay, and the position of this would be relative, because inside this we're gonna show the mole. So mole would be up and down, so it's gonna take relative position of the hole. Okay, so I'll again give it a background color of red, so just to check how it looks. So I'm gonna come back here, so you can see right now it looks like this. Okay, I'll just give it a border, 1 pixel, solid red. Okay, now it would look better. So come back, you can see that each of this is now a whole. Okay, now you are able to understand this. Okay, so basically they are taking equivalent space. There were other methods to actually do this, but this is a shortcut. You can use this, or you can use a grid. It would do the same job. Okay, let's come back here now. One thing which I'm gonna do is, now our hole is created. Okay, our hole is created. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say that I wanna show the whole image so that it looks good. So here I'm just gonna say that over this I'm creating an imaginary element. That's why I'm using after here. I'll just say display as block. Okay, and then background of this I want as whole.png. Okay, let me just check how it looks. So right now you can see that the image is not shown. Okay, so I have to show the image, so I'll just add the properties here. So first of all, I'll say that it would be shown in bottom, center, and no repeat. So I've added all the image properties directly. Okay, so let's see. So you can see that right now it's not visible. Why it's not visible? Because first of all, let me just remove this. Okay, and I want to simply say contain also. So background size property, and here I'll just say contain. Let's see, still not visible. I have to add more properties here. So I'll just say that it's gonna take around, it would have empty content. Okay, and the width of that would be 100%. It's gonna take 100%. Height of that image would be 70 pixel. Okay, and position of this would be absolute. Z index would be 2. Okay, and from bottom it's gonna shift to minus 30 pixel. Okay, minus 30 pixel. Let's see. So now you can see that this is shown because it was hidden. Okay, so now it's visible. So you can see that it looks good. If you want to change it, you can definitely change it. You can see that it's more above, but I want to hide somewhat little part. Okay, so I'm just hiding it. Okay, also make sure you trim down all the images to their exact sizes, so you can see that there's no extra space taken by this image. Okay, so it helps, right? So you can see that now we have the whole. Okay, now whole is also here. Now we're gonna talk about the mole. Deepak is saying Pookie. Yes, Pookie. Uh, Pookie is something else, but anyways, please search the definition of Pookie. Okay, so this is something else. Don't say Pookie to your loved ones. If they know the definition, they'll feel bad. Okay, so sir, did you teach this type of project daily? Yes, usually I teach these projects once a week. Okay, so you can just check out Geeks for Geeks channel daily for different videos. But if you're talking about my projects, once a week I teach these type of projects, usually on Saturdays or Sundays. Okay, maybe on 11 p.m. Sorry, 11 a.m. or 7 p.m. Okay, sir, will you upload the whole video? Yes, this live session would be available after I end this video. Okay, so don't worry, and also you will get the source code also of my GitHub repository. Inside my GitHub repository, I'm gonna provide you the source code part, so you can get that from my GitHub repository. Okay, so let's come back. I'll just create the next thing. So hole is created. Now we need the chuha. Okay, we need the mole. Okay, so I'm just gonna say mole, and here I'll just give it first of all the background image of our mole. Okay, so mole.png, pretty easy, right? And again, I would give the same properties so that it's visible and it starts from bottom. That's it. Okay, and I'll just say that the background size would be 60%. It would take 60% size. Position of that mole would be absolute. From top, it's gonna be 100% from top, and width would be 100%. That means it would be below. It would be not visible. Once I want to make the mole visible, I'll simply make the mole as 0, top 0. Right now top is 100%, that means it would be inside the hole. Okay, that means the mole won't be visible. That's why top is 100%. Okay, so now I'll just simply say height would be 100%. Transition would be like, I'm gonna say that it would be visible, not visible, visible, not visible. So I'm gonna add a smooth transition so that it is not like look like a image. Okay, so 4 seconds. Okay, so right now you can see that since I've given top 100%, so you would see something like this. If I suppose remove this, I'll just make it top 0. Let's see. So you can see that you see the moles. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna make it 100% initially. The mole is not visible. Okay, so what I'm saying is whichever hole is active, that specific mole must be visible. Okay, suppose for example, I'm saying that this hole number 3 is having this, suppose, up class. Okay, up class. So I want this mole to be visible. I don't want these. I don't want these. Okay, I only want this one. So how can I do that? So here I'm just gonna say that whichever hole, okay, has the up class. Okay, whichever hole div has the up class, I'm just gonna say that specific mole is gonna have top as 0. That's it. Okay, so now you would see that hole number 3 is gonna have this. Okay, pretty easy. Similarly, I'm gonna hide this with the help of JavaScript. I'm gonna show it here or show it here or show it here randomly. Okay, at random places. Okay, so we're gonna do that using a random function. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Numbers would be randomly called. If suppose 2 is called, I'm gonna show it in the second box or third box or fourth box, random places. Okay, so you can see that this part is also done. We have done this UI part. The CSS part is also done. Now let's focus on the JavaScript part. Okay, so JavaScript part has basic things, that is update the score, start the game, and randomly update the positions of this up class, so that wherever up class is, that specific mole would be visible. Okay, and the fourth thing is click on that, hit that with the hammer. Okay, so that score is updated. That's it. So that's what we're gonna do in the JavaScript part. So let's come to the JavaScript part, and I'm gonna target all the holes. So I'm just gonna say const hole equals uh holes equals document dot query selector all, because since we have the class name, okay, not the ID, so I'm going to use query selector all, or you can use get element by class, okay, but I'm using the query selector all, and here I'm just giving the class name. Okay, now you can simply copy this and paste a few times. Now I've targeted the holes. I'm also going to target the scoreboard. Okay, so I'm gonna say that score span tag would be targeted. Okay, then I'm gonna say moles would be targeted. So MOLE. Okay, moles would be targeted. Then I'm gonna say that the start stop button would be targeted. So hashtag start. Okay, and since there's only one ID, so I'm gonna write it like this. Okay, so you can see I've targeted all of these. Okay, fine, looks good. And also there is only one score, so all doesn't matter. If there are multiple divisions, then only you have to mention all, so that it's clarity in mind. Okay, so there is only one score class, there's only one start ID, so all doesn't need here. Okay, all is needed when there are multiple IDs or multiple classes. Okay, so here I'm just gonna say that we're gonna have some variables here. So last whole, okay, and let time up. Why do you need last whole? Because suppose JavaScript random function generates last whole as 3. Again, JavaScript random function accidentally generated last whole as 3. So you're gonna say they are same. Okay, so instead of this 3, I'm gonna again call the random function until it generates something else. Okay, so that mole is shown in some other place, right? So that you don't need to hit in one single place, you would get random places. Okay, so time up would be false. So it's like when the game would start, it would be false. Later on, when game stops in 10-20 seconds, okay, we'll set the timer. I would make this true and I'll stop the game and I'll give the restart button. Okay, so here I'll just say let's score equals 0 initially. Okay, that's it. Now guys, I'm gonna create a function. Okay, so I'll just create a function named as start game. Okay, so this function would be called. So initially I'm gonna say that scoreboard dot content. Okay, initially the scoreboard content, okay, actually the text content would be 0. That means initially the scoreboard would be showing 0. Suppose if I make it this, so let me just come back here, and initially when I click on this, you can see initially the score changes. Okay, so what I mean is initially the score would be 0, right? I want the score as 0, getting in your mind, right? So now I'm gonna say that initially the time up would be false. Why am I doing this? Because suppose last time when I was playing the game, the score was 10,000. I'm restarting the game. At restart also this function is called. Whenever you restart, you're again gonna set the score as 0. Okay, that's it. So again you're gonna make time up as false. Again you're gonna make the score as 0. That's it. This is the text of the HTML part. This is the JavaScript variable. These are the JavaScript variables. Don't get confused. Okay, so this is I'm targeting the HTML. This is the JavaScript variable to be maintained here for reference. Okay, so now here we have the score as 0, time up as 0. Also, what I'm gonna do is whenever I start the game. So what I'm gonna do is button, the start stop button. So button dot style dot visibility, style dot visibility equals visible. Okay, visible. So now you can see that whatever button you have targeted, it would simply be visible or hidden. So initially it was, I'm sorry, I have to make it hidden. Initially it was visible. Once you start the game, I want to hide the button. Okay, so once you click on this, you can see button is hidden. Okay, so that's what I wanted. I want to hide the button, so I've hidden the button. Okay, that's it. Now I am gonna call different functions. What function? So first of all, I want the mole to be visible in random holes. Random holes. So for that, I'm gonna create a function known as peep. Okay. So inside peep function, I'm gonna decide in which hole the mole would be shown. That means which hole is going to have the up class. That's it. So here inside this, I'm just going to say that const at what time, by the way. So I'm just going to say random time. I'm going to pick some random time. So sometimes the mole would be visible fast, sometimes the mole would be visible slowly. Okay, so that the game becomes interesting. So I'm going to create a function named as random time. Okay, and here I'm going to provide 200,000. Okay, so let's talk about the random time function. So this function is going to give me random time. That's it. So random time, I'm going to simply say that minimum value would be provided and max value would be provided. Okay, so max value would be 1000, minimum would be 200. So this is in milliseconds. Okay, this is in milliseconds, not seconds. Okay, so in 200 millisecond or 1000 millisecond, in any time between this, the mole would be visible. So that sometimes the mole would be really slow, sometimes it would be really fast. Okay, like that. So that's what I'm gonna decide here. So I'm just gonna give a random value from here. So return any random value from min and max. So I'm just gonna say math dot round. Okay, math dot round, math dot random. Okay, I'm just gonna say anywhere between min and max. Okay, and obviously difference between min and max is taken. Suppose difference between min and max is 800. Okay, so I'm saying pick any number between any number between 800. So 700 would be taken. Okay, so 700 plus min, obviously, because you have to get a number greater than min. Okay, so 700 plus min, that means your number would be 900. Okay, that's it, right? So you can see that that's how it you would get the random number from here. So you get the random time. Random time, it would be visible or it would be visible fast. Okay, so you got the random time. Either you would get 200 millisecond, or you would get 500 millisecond, or you would get 900 millisecond. So that's up to you. Okay, so random time. Now you got the random time. Here you're just gonna say you're gonna get the whole also. So you're gonna get the random whole. Okay, so at random hole you want to show the mole, right? So you're gonna get the random hole from hole. So you're gonna provide random holes. So here I'll just get some random hole. Okay, so random hole. Here you want to get the holes. Okay, you got all the holes, and from that you're gonna pick the random hole. So I'm just gonna say const idx. You're gonna get the random index. Okay, so I'm just gonna say math dot floor. Okay, I'm just gonna say get a math dot random number from holes dot length. So it's gonna give me, so holes length is what? Holes length is 6. Okay, so we have 6 classes which have whole class name. Okay, so you can see that we have six classes, right? So we get the length of this as 6, and you'd get a number between 0 to 6. Okay, 0 to 6. Okay, so you're gonna get that index. Const holes, and you're gonna get that specific hole. You're gonna get that specific hole with the help of index. Okay, so once you get that index, so you're just gonna say if hole equals last hole. Okay, that means if third hole is appeared just now, just after this again third hole is appeared, so why would answer come again in the same hole? Since you want some other hole next time. So what are you gonna say? Since the hole is repeated, I don't want it to be repeated, just pick some other index. Okay, so you're just gonna say return some other index. So again, just call random hole function and holes. Okay, so what I want is, I don't want the index to be same. I don't want to come up here and again come up here. I don't want that. Once this is done, I want some other index. Okay, I want some other index. So that's what I've said. I want some other index. Okay, if repeats. And one more thing is last hole would be this hole, so that you can keep record in this case, okay, in this case. So last hole must be matching, must be equal to the hole. So I'm making it equal to the hole, current hole. So that next time when I get other hole, I would check, is this the same of my previous hole? No. If no, then that's fine. But if it's same of my previous hole, I don't want this index. I want some other index. Okay, so that hamster doesn't appear on the same hole again and again. Okay, I mean, once it's done, next time, just after this, okay, any other time it can be done, but just after this, I don't want the same hole, okay, I want some other hole. Then again, if I come back, then that's fine. Okay, so this is it. And one more thing is, I want to return that specific hole which I got. Okay, so return that specific hole which I got. Right, so you got that specific hole, some random specific hole. Okay, you got this. What I want is in that specific hole, okay, in that specific hole, so class list dot add up class. Okay, so I've added the up class, right? So I was gonna say set timeout. So here guys, what I'm gonna say is you got the random time, right? So from the random time, once the random time is done, okay, once the random time is done, I want to hide this. Okay, so once the random time is done, I want to hide this. So class list dot remove. So again after 600 millisecond or after 200 millisecond or after 900 millisecond at random times, this would be hidden. Okay, so it would be visible, suddenly it became hidden. Okay, or it would be visible after a few milliseconds, it would be hidden. Okay, sometimes it would be hidden fast, sometimes it would be hidden slowly. Okay, so that's what it does. So at some random time which we generated from here, I'm just hiding it. Okay, so either it would be hidden fast or it would be hidden slow. Okay, so if time is not there, sorry, if time is not up, okay, if time is not up, okay, again I'm gonna call peep function. Okay, again if time is not up, again I'm gonna call peep function to get another hole, to get another hole, to get another hole. Okay, so if time is not up, again I'm gonna call the peep function. That's it. So the game is gonna run on and on and on and on once the game is complete. Now how the game would be complete? So it's pretty easy. You're just gonna say that first of all the peep function would be called for the first time, right? And next time automatically peep function would call itself if time is not over. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that till when the game would run. So I'm just gonna say set timeout, and let's say that the game would run till 20 seconds. So you just need to write 20,000 here in milliseconds. Okay, and here I'm just gonna say that scoreboard, I'm sorry, the time up would be true once this is complete. The time up would be true. Okay, once 20 seconds would be complete, time up would be true, and button dot internal HTML would become restart. Okay, restart, and the visibility would be visible. Okay, so visibility would be visible. Okay, so let's take 5,000 milliseconds for now. That means 5 seconds for now. Okay, that's it. Right now you can see that the mole would be visible, but I haven't hit it. I haven't added the hit function, that means bonk function. So I'm gonna add that, but first of all let me check. Okay, so if I okay, by default I don't want this up class anywhere. Okay, it would be used, it would be given randomly. Okay, so if I just save this, now I'm gonna come back here and refresh. Now if I click on start, so you can see it's visible randomly. So you can see sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. Okay, so you can see that it's coming randomly, and once 20 seconds or whatever seconds you have mentioned are over, you would see the restart button. So once you click restart, again the game starts. But now I have to call the hit function. Okay, the hit function is not working, so I have to call the hit function. Okay, so how can I make the hit function work? So it's pretty easy. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna call an event listener. Okay, so I'm just gonna say on the moles, okay, for each, okay, for each mole, okay, for all the 6, I'm gonna add an event listener. Okay, so mole dot add event listener. Okay, so I'm just gonna say whenever I click on any mole, okay, I'm just gonna call the bonk function. Okay, so bonk function is basically the hit function. So let's create this. So function which is bonk function. Okay, here I'm gonna get the element which I have hit it on. Okay, so there's one property, if e dot is not trusted, then don't do anything. That means if you haven't, if you have clicked at any random area, okay, which is not allowed, then just return, don't run this function. But if you are allowed, then that's fine, and by default it's allowed only. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that score would be incremented, okay, of that specific area. Okay, and I'm just gonna say this dot class list dot remove up. Okay, remove up. Remember one thing, I'm not targeting the whole, I'm targeting the mole. So mole, if mole is visible, then only you can call the bonk function, right? If mole is not visible, you can't click on the bonk, so it won't run, this function won't run. Okay, so yeah, just make sure you call it on the bonk. The bonk would be called on the mole, not on the whole. Okay, so yes, here I'm just gonna say that uh, scoreboard dot text content would become equal to score. So now I have updated the score also. I've updated the score also. So I've updated the score and updated the text. Okay, so that's it. Let's check it now. So now I'm gonna go to the project and let's refresh first. Now if I click on this, so you can see so you can see that I'm able to play this game. Okay, so the game is now complete. You can see that the game was pretty simple. I've completed the game, and this is it. This is what we wanted to build now, right? So I can actually give it an image also. Let me just give it some. Okay, anyways, looks good. So you can see that I have this game completed. I don't need anything else. I'm gonna upload this source code. I've uploaded the images also now. I'm gonna upload the source code also. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm gonna create a GitHub repository for that. I'm gonna show you that in the same time. So let me just open my GitHub account. So GitHub account, and I'll just create a new repository. I'll just call this as Whac-A-Mole underscore GFG. Okay, and I'll just create a repository and I'm gonna upload my source code. So now guys, the source code is also uploaded. Okay, it's available in my GitHub repository. What you need to do is you just need to go to this GitHub repository. What you can do is you can just go to this GitHub profile, github.com/virajj014. This is my GitHub profile. You can also follow me here. Okay, you can check out my socials also. Now in this GitHub profile, just go to the repositories, and here you would get the code Whac-A-Mole underscore GFG. You can just go inside this and you will get the complete source code. What you need to do is you can just clone it or you can download the code. Okay, so you'll get all the images as well as the source code. Right, so guys, I hope you enjoyed the session, and if you want such kind of projects, so do hit that like button and also suggest me in the comment section what kind of projects you want, what kind of other games you want, JavaScript games you want. These beginner friendly projects actually help a lot beginners to actually understand web development in pretty easy steps, right? So that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Till then, see you, a good day.